Yeah, y'all good. I thought well, we were doing really well.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was.
my
And
computer decided it needed to update. We're live, by the way, so
we
don't
are live.
don't Tom Bunneman yourself, and end up calling baseball games in Puerto Rico. We have 0 viewers. I don't expect to have anybody in here while we're doing this. I don't want to build up an audience just for the 5 minutes that we're about to talk, but this will be on the Facebook and the YouTube, and then we can take it and tweet it and do all that stuff with it. So really quickly, let's go ahead. Let's do the score predictions. I'll jump in. Quickly by saying if you are part of our live stream tonight, good on you. Really glad to have that. Love the conversation. Love talking with Vikings fans. Don't get a lot of that down here in Cincinnati, believe it or not. So thank you for tuning in. Really happy. Wednesday nights at like 6:15
Or five,
Eastern time.
five, 5:15 if you're from
Thank you.
Minnesota.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, right as you're getting off work, throw us on. We're on YouTube. Throw us on. Set your phone to the side, while it's plugged in. Dear God, we're back up to 5 viewers, Jack. We're flying. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and give my score prediction now that I know
I think
Jack's.
I'm texting Dave Ladd, who's in the chat. I don't know if he's in yet or not, but he said he wanted to hear what you were. I don't remember what we were talking about though.
Neither do I, but if he joins, then he can.
If he's in, he can comment. I
We
can't
can
remember what we were talking
100%
about.
address it. And unfortunately, I don't have the. Actually, you know what? I might have the chat if I go over to the multi-stream.
It was something to do with bar, I want to say. I can, because I was looking through the comments. That's good. If you're in this now and you're still listening, if you were listening, even if you weren't listening, we appreciate people commenting and interacting with this. It makes it more fun for us.
Absolutely.
It might make Jordan and myself ramble on for 3-4 hour shows, but if you're here to talk Vikings, we will sit here and talk Vikings with you.
The thing is, and this is channel growth. This is a peek behind the curtain for you guys. If enough people start commenting, then it becomes we have to pull you a code our show, post it, and then we just do a live stream where it's just like let's just bullcrap and talk the Vikings. But we're not there yet. Right now, we're just talking the Vikings. I'm going to quickly give my score prediction. I think the Vikings are going to win a close game against Chicago. I'm going to go 17-14. Opposite of Jack Day, who he will get to his in a second. We are getting Dan Bailey, the man, the myth, the legend, back. And he's winning this game on a walk-off, baby. He's going to redeem himself. Ooh. He's completely redeeming himself. Hannah is not happy in the chat that you're talking about doing 3 or 4 hour shows. Hannah, I'm so sorry. But I'm telling you, Dan Bailey this week, I do think is going to make a few kicks. Kind of, okay, let's keep my job. Let's get things back together. And hopefully the Vikings will still cut him promptly after the game and bring somebody in that can clear COVID protocols. But I don't know how that's going to work with us playing on Friday after this game. So also Nathan Nichols in the chat saying that he wants you on 4 laps down this Friday. But I think we're going live Wednesday, not Friday. Next Wednesday. Oh, no, this Friday.
Yeah, it might be tough in the next. Well, my brother's coming home from the military, but that's definitely. Maybe we could do some sort of like playoff special where I could come on and have some beers with you guys.
Definitely, man. Well, we can talk about that off air. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going with Dan Bailey, walking it off, 17-14, completely redeeming himself. Prepare yourselves now for the Vikings memes that say like, "You have completely redeemed yourself." I think it's an Office quote or something. But Jack, I really like your score prediction this week, man. Go ahead and lay it on us. Just let the people know.
It's partially a joke, and I'll say that at first. It's partially a joke, but I want to say this. I'm picking the Vikings to win this game, but I had a very, very hard time in getting myself to do that after their performance last weekend. We saw without Kendricks, this defense, it's not the same. I mean, you've already taken out so many key assets on this defense. Taking out I kept saying something. Oh, I said taking out the heartbeat of this Vikings defense when you're already down an arm and a leg. And quite frankly, you can list a lot of different body parts that this defense is missing. I don't know where these analogies are coming from tonight, but I'm just going to roll with it. But I had the Vikings winning a close one as well. The Vikings win 22-20 because they get 2 of their 3 2-point conversions, and Dan Bailey does not see the field other than kicking the ball to Chicago. Like I said, it's partially a joke, but I think we've seen the Vikings have had success when going for it on 4th down. They've had some success with 2-point conversions. We've seen Dan Bailey struggle. I know it's a little bit different that he's on his home turf. It's where they practice. They go to US Bank Stadium and they kick. Having said that, it's such a shot at your confidence. We've seen this in Minnesota so many times. I texted my dad after the game and I was like, is this just like, did Gary Anderson like permanently curse the kicking position moving forward? Because you have the Blair Walshes of the world. There's been heartbreak from the kicker position, and I shouldn't just float that. Maybe I should say the same thing for Chicago. I don't know how their kicking game has been, but I know they have had some pretty rough losses in franchise history, because more recently they had one a couple years ago due to the double doink. But it's partially a joke, but I do think this is going to be a closer game. I think the Vikings. Do you have the spread in front of you? Are the Vikings favored? Do you know?
I actually don't have the spread in front of me right now. Give me 1 second.
Sorry to put you on the spot. I can
No,
keep
you're all
talking,
good,
but
man.
yeah, I think it's just one of those games where it's a divisional game. The Vikings, there's no home field advantage. That's completely gone. I think I've made the point this year with a couple of my buddies that it almost seems as if the away team has an edge just because they have that extra motivation. They're going into somebody else's house and they want to punch that team in the mouth. Whereas the Vikings have to drive, most of their players have to drive 20, 25 minutes to get to US Bank Stadium. And we've seen them come out a little bit lackluster over the year when they've played at US Bank Stadium. They've actually had some of their better games on the road. So I think this defense is starting to get, I shouldn't say the defense as a whole, some of the players that we've wanted to see rise to the occasion are starting to perform. I think we saw Jeff Gladden. He should have had a pick six. We saw Cameron Dancer a week or two ago have a very solid performance. Get these pieces back around them in 2021 and let's ride.
Yeah, I've got the Vikings here at -3.5. Nathan is in the chat saying it's Minnesota -3. So either
Oh,
yeah, so
favor the Vikings by a field goal. That scares me even
yeah,
more.
that's pretty ironic. I'd much rather just be honestly. They should know by now that we're not gonna make the damn field goals. But I'm telling you, Dan Bailey bounce back game. It's happening, and then we're gonna cut him, and we're gonna leave him in the mean streets of Chicago and tell him to figure it out. And that's just how it's gonna go. But I don't have a lot more for this stream. Honestly, we were having a great show, and then my computer decided that it needed to update right the F now. So Billy Biskupski, I think I've had to pronounce his name before and I couldn't, is in the chat just saying no more kicking. So he's agreeing with you, Jack. 3 touchdowns, no kicking. So yeah, it's that just is what it is. So I don't have a lot more to say about this game. If you missed out, Billy, I didn't see you in the chat. Don't know if you were watching. The show is going to be available on YouTube and Facebook to go back and watch through. We'll miss having you talking in the chat, but of course, make sure to follow us on Facebook and over on YouTube. Make sure if you do go over to YouTube, let's he said we'll give it an 8.5, 10 for FO. I like that. And Hannah agrees with him, no more kicking. But make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, do all the typical YouTube things that you do when you love the YouTubers that you're watching. And other than that, Skull, as all, and I don't want to say yo catchphrase. But from me to you, let's go win a football game. Let's try and get in the playoffs and be the 07 Giants if we can.
Yeah, and this game, if the Vikings win this game, it's going to make a lot of interesting, or make for a lot of interesting households the following week on Christmas. I know people that are watching the Vikings regularly, like you and myself, are a little bit stressed out that they scheduled them, let alone not just any game on Christmas Day, a game where they travel down to the Bayou and play arguably one of the most hated franchises by the Minnesota fan base in the New Orleans Saints. I want to keep this quick. I shouldn't have brought that up because every time the Saints get brought up.
Did I hear the Saints?
Every time they get brought up, we go on some rant, and then Jonathan Vilma's going to get brought up. They do have Greg Jennings this week, which I'm fine with, but
you said, hang on, we have Greg Jennings this week?
Greg Jennings is doing our
Jack,
game
he
this
sounds
week.
like Jonathan Vilma.
Yeah, but he's not.
But he's not
just
Jonathan
a factor.
Vilma.
He's not. We'll take it. Yeah, not. There's nothing too crazy. Quite frankly, the Vikings just have to go out. In my opinion, the Bears defense is very good. The Vikings are still a better football team than the Chicago Bears, in my opinion. I know I could see this game going either way. I think it's going to be a close one. I said this earlier on the first edition of the show before we had the stream crash. Go out, be aggressive against this defense. If Kirk Cousins throws an interception, so what? Let him. He was pissed off. We didn't even bring that up because I've said this to everyone I've talked to about last week's game. Kirk Cousins was pissed off on the sideline last week. I don't know what happened. I don't remember what play it was after. Bring that fire with you, Kirk, and play pissed off. I want to see, I say this every show, I want to see the you like that version of Kirk Cousins come out swinging. I want to see a big play right off the bat rather than trying to run the ball right down Akeem Hicks's throat, because I am not ready to see Akeem Hicks mocking our offense. Let's get out in front right away and then try to control the clock like we did against Tampa Bay when we were down by whatever it was at the time. Having said that, I think this is a winnable game for the Vikings. They're at home. They haven't played that great at home. I just have a feeling if they're going to lose a game, I think it's going to be in New Orleans. If I think Drew Brees is coming off of IR, I want to say. I thought I saw an alert on that today. But it's going to be, either way, it should be an enjoyable game to watch. I also shouldn't say enjoyable game to watch because many Vikings fans know that last week was not an enjoyable game to watch. But the Vikings,